How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? That phrase sounds harmless, but it's the one stealing your days, your energy, and even your confidence. The strangest part is that you don't notice it right away, because tomorrow feels like a safe place, full of promises. But in reality, it's nothing more than an elegant trap designed to keep you stuck while time slips away without mercy. And here's an uncomfortable truth. There is no perfect tomorrow, no day when everything will be perfectly organized for you to finally begin. What actually exists is the now, raw, imperfect, but full of power. Believing that things will only happen once you feel motivated or brave enough is just an illusion. The real path is the opposite. It's by acting now, even when you don't feel ready, that you build the motivation and courage you've been waiting for. Maybe no one has ever told you this so clearly, but you need to hear it. Every tomorrow you postpone isn't neutral. It's a silent theft against the life you want to live. And if you're here, it's because you already feel you can't afford to waste more time. So, before you think about delaying again, let me show you how transformation begins the moment you decide to act today. You wake up, feel the weight of the day arriving, and deep down, you already know you'll tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. That phrase feels light, but it carries a false relief, as if simply postponing were enough to trick your own mind. But when the night comes, nothing has been done, the emptiness of a day without change becomes obvious, almost like a silent reminder echoing inside you. In the middle of your routine, while the clock keeps running, you realize this excuse has turned into part of your life. It's not laziness, it's not lack of dreams, it's an invisible habit that repeats itself until it becomes automatic. Days go by, and without noticing, you collect blank pages, each one filled with promises that never come true. It's as if every today were erased by a tomorrow that never arrives. And when awareness finally wakes up, the question hits. How many more times will you deceive yourself with this silent deal? That constant postponing builds a discomfort that never goes away. You feel you could be somewhere else, speaking better, living more, learning more. But while the decision hangs in the future, the present stays empty. And that's exactly when the urge to change right now is born, before another day gets lost. You feel it in your body when the desire to change can't be held back by words anymore. There's an impulse asking to be lived today, not stored for a date that will never come. That urgency is almost physical. The desire to grow, to speak better, to feel more confident, to realize that every action taken now is already building the future you dream about. At that moment, you understand you don't need complicated plans or perfect conditions. What you really want is to feel movement, to know you've already begun, that you're no longer bargaining with time. A single step taken in the present gives you a sense of progress, and that feeling is worth more than any promise kept for later. And once you experience it, you see the truth. Your real desire isn't to live in tomorrow, but to feel transformation happening today. That immediate start lights a flame, small at first, but strong enough to change the way you see your days. Still, right after it, an old obstacle appears, trying to steal your energy. The endless cycle of waiting. Have you noticed how tomorrow feels like a safe refuge? It gives the illusion of control, as if there's still plenty of time to decide, as if postponing were just a rational choice. But behind that comfort, there's a trap. While you convince yourself you're preparing, time keeps moving and nothing truly changes. That waiting cycle drains your energy without you realizing. Every postponed promise creates a silent frustration that eats away at your self-trust. The problem isn't just losing one day, it's carrying the growing feeling that you don't follow through on what you tell yourself. And the heavier that feeling gets, the harder it becomes to take the next step. Deep down, you know the truth. Every time you choose to wait, you're not gaining time, you're giving it away to fear. Tomorrow is not neutral. It comes with a price. It steals today, it steals your rhythm, it even steals the courage that could have shown up along the way. And while that cycle keeps spinning, it becomes clearer and clearer that the way out isn't in the next day, but in breaking the wheel right now. The real turning point doesn't come with big speeches, but with a shift in the question you ask yourself. Instead of holding on to, when will I start? A simpler one arises. What can I do right now? This change of focus takes the weight off waiting and puts you face to face with the only thing that truly exists, the present moment. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes it's just sitting down and practicing English for 5 minutes, writing one sentence in your notebook, repeating a single word out loud. That tiny action breaks the pattern of inertia, making space for action to replace doubt. And the moment you feel you've acted, even if for a short time, you realize the difference. You're no longer trapped in tomorrow. That very first immediate step is what turns thought into practice and practice into confidence. It's in that moment you realize that what once seemed impossible is just a sequence of small movements. And every time you choose to act now, the weight loses its grip, and today starts to stack up into real achievements that change the course of your life. When you decide to stop negotiating with tomorrow, something shifts in the way you see time. Each small action in the present begins to add up, and that silent accumulation creates progress that once felt far away. Today is no longer an empty space. It becomes the raw material of real accomplishments. You feel that you finally started building instead of only planning. The interesting part is that this daily practice builds confidence almost automatically. The more you act, the more you notice that courage doesn't have to be waited for. It shows up along the way. Your routine reshapes itself, and the habit of acting today creates a chain effect. One day pulling the next, one small result pulling the following one. Life, which once felt stuck, begins to find its rhythm. And it's here that you finally understand. Transformation doesn't happen in giant leaps, but in the sum of simple steps repeated every day. The most powerful part is realizing that by acting now, you free yourself from the illusion of waiting for the right time. Because the future you long for is born out of today, not out of a promise left for later. You've probably noticed that time never organizes itself the way you imagine. There's always an extra task, an unexpected event, or an excuse ready to push your start further ahead. Waiting for perfect conditions is like waiting for a season that never comes. The feeling of being fully prepared simply doesn't exist. And while you wait, time keeps moving, relentlessly. What truly remains is only the now. It's within this short, immediate space that you can act. The rest is an illusion created by your mind to postpone the discomfort of beginning. When you accept that no perfect scenario exists, you realize that power doesn't lie in the calendar or in an idealized future. It lies in the decision to use what you have, as you are, in the exact moment you're in. This perception may sound simple, but it changes everything. Because the moment you realize tomorrow is not guaranteed, today gains an unshakable value. And once you face that, you can't go back to the cycle of waiting. A new clarity arises. The confidence you seek has never been born from waiting, but from consistent practice. You've probably already felt that the security you're looking for never arrives before action. The mind insists you must be ready. But the truth is, preparation only appears when you dare. Making mistakes, adjusting, repeating, it's through this process that confidence grows. The The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, and the less room fear has to dominate. Every time you choose to delay, you rob yourself of the chance to learn. The mistake you could correct today turns into accumulated delay. And deep down, that's what weakens self-confidence. Not the difficulty itself, but the lack of practice. What seemed like a lack of talent is often nothing more than a lack of enough repeated attempts to turn into skill. And when you finally grasp this, you see that waiting was never the solution. Confidence is born in the middle of action, while you face discomfort and still keep going. It's this lived experience that builds the sense of being prepared. And the sooner you step into that movement, the faster you realize that today's small acts are capable of shaping the identity you desire so much. When you choose to act today, even in something simple, you start sending a silent message to yourself. You keep your promises. That gesture, seemingly small, reshapes your perception and builds a new identity. Not the identity of someone who waits for the right moment, but of someone who decides and acts in the present. Over time, that repetition becomes habit, and the habit becomes part of who you are. The simple act of studying for a few minutes, practicing a sentence out loud, or not giving up when you're tired builds the confidence that you are capable. Slowly, this consistency becomes more valuable than any perfect plan designed for a distant future. And the most powerful part of it all is realizing that this new identity doesn't depend on external circumstances. It's born from choices made day by day, in ordinary hours, in discrete gestures. Because every time you act, you're not only building progress, you're confirming the story you tell yourself. And when that story is well told, it changes everything. Stop saying tomorrow. Now it's on you. What will you do with everything you've just heard? Will you let another day slip by under the comfort of, I'll start tomorrow? Or will you prove to yourself that you can change today? That choice may seem small, but it's exactly what decides who you'll become a month from now, a year from now, or even at the end of your life. Ask yourself, how many dreams have you already lost because of waiting? How many opportunities slipped away because you were busy lying to yourself with the promise of tomorrow? The truth is, no one is going to hand you courage. It's born the moment you act. And if not now, when? So if this message stirred something inside you, use that energy. Put it into practice today, even if it's something small, but enough to prove to yourself that you're in control. And if you want to keep growing with me, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and don't miss the next videos. Because from this point forward, every choice you make can be a turning point.